Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard101 video. Today, I want to talk about the Halloween event in Wizard101, and the reason why I'm doing this is because there is only 16 days of the Halloween event left, and I figured that some people would really want to know what's worth doing, what's worth getting, is any of it worth doing or worth getting, and kind of what is Halloween in Wizard101? Because personally, this event was always my favorite as a kid. I loved Halloween in Wizard101, despite the fact that, spoiler alert, it's not really the most useful event and there isn't really that much to actually do in Halloween Wizard101, but I figured that it would at least be worth going over in a video right now. So if you're wondering what is worth doing in Halloween, stick around to find out. Now, let's start off with quests, because there are a few quests added by Halloween in Wizard101. Starting off, there are Jack Hallow's quests right here in the comments. Now, you can see I already accepted this quest. I did that by accident, so I can't unaccept the quest, but you can see I need to use some jack-o'-lanterns. Trick or treat is how we greet, you say to the Halloween pumpkin. I'd just like to say, by the way, I don't have audio. I just remember all these voice lines from the bottom of my heart. Now, this quest line is just not worth doing at all. They're just fun little quests that were added in Halloween back in like 2008. And realistically, there are no real rewards from these quests. They give you, as you can see, some gold and some treasure cards. Like I think you can get the Midnight Cat treasure card from a few of them. It's not like anything really good. It's just basic Halloween, like this is a fun event type thing. It's not really going to be anything that you should be doing unless you just want to have a little bit of fun in the game. There's no bad reward, there's no quest rewards, it's just a little bit of gold. Now, I only just now realized that I'm on a wizard that has not unlocked Nightside, so I can't show you the next Halloween quest or how to accept it. But if you go to Dworgen, there is a quest to beat Bunferatu in the Haunted Cave, which, you know, it's not the best quest in the world. It gives 1,200 XP, so if you do it at level 12 when it unlocks, it's actually a decent XP reward. So if you're a very low level in the game, go do it. Now, what this dungeon does give beyond the XP that might be of an interest to some of you is it actually gives the Frankenbunny pet. Now, the Frankenbunny is a pet that is not particularly good. It doesn't really have any talents that are good. If you're a Storm Wizard, you should definitely get it because it has a potential to give Storm Giver, which is like okay. But what it does give is it gives the Healing Current card. Now the Healing Current card isn't like great, but what it does is for 3 pips, it is a storm spell that heals you for 385 and then does 75 overtime healing for 3 to 5 rounds. Now, that's obviously not the best pet in the world, but it's probably better than your starter pet. So if you have a starter pet and you want, like, you know, just a pet that you can use that gives you potentially a good card, and especially if you're a Storm Wizard, then you should probably just do the quest anyway. It is a guaranteed reward for the quest, so you can get that Frankenbunny pet and use it to your heart's content. Again, it's a limited time event and a limited time pet, so if you do want to get it, now is the time to do it. Now, that is it for quests. There aren't any other quests that you can do particularly besides following those quest lines and the one quest from Dworgen, but there is one other event kind of thing with battling to do with Halloween, and that is these haunted towers that appear in Ravenwood over here. Now, these towers don't really particularly give any good reward. There is really no like benefit to doing them as far as I know. They might be able to drop like the Midnight Cat treasure cards, and they might be able to drop some of the Halloween gear, but don't quote me on that. Right here, there are 3 towers you can do. There are different levels. I think they're like Master, Grandmaster, like, or like Magus Master, Grandmaster, so like level 30, level 50, or level 40, level 50. I don't know. It's something like that. They're nothing particularly worth doing. Hey, look at that. There's a Halloween mount, which, you know, I really want that one, but I digress. That's it for all of the quest portion of this video, which is most of the Halloween event. Let's talk about the rest of it, which is basically you wasting money on this game. Now, starting off with not packs, because the rest of this video is just gonna be packs, let's talk about what you can buy from Spooky Bob right here. Now, Spooky Bob can sell you some little Halloween things. He can sell you the Halloween hat, which some of you, if you've watched Blaze Lifehammer, may be like, oh hey, that's what Blaze Lifehammer wears. And then there are some Halloween witch hat, which looks pretty cool. There's some pumpkin masks. There are some robes, which are interesting. There are boots. The wands are just random pumpkin staffs, which aren't anything particularly good, but they go all the way up to level 65. So if you want a level 65 pumpkin wand, you can. There are the Halloween pets, such as the Black Cat, the Nightmare, and the Ghost Dragon, which all are probably going to be better than your starter pet. So if you wanted to, you could buy those. I don't think they're particularly worth buying, but I figured I'd at least mention them. And then finally, wall hangings, there is this beautiful picture of Spooky Bob right here that you can buy from Spooky Bob himself. And that is pretty much it for Spooky Bob. The rest of this video is now going to be all Crown Shop pack things that I'm basically going to tell you are probably not worth getting, but I'll at least go over each of them in this video so that you can kind of get a gauge on what you might want to buy. So if you press left trigger, you press A, you go to the Crown Shop. Now you can go to the featured section, which will show you everything that was added. These are the Halloween mounts that you can probably buy, and by probably, I mean you can. So those were all added with Halloween, and then there are the packs down here, which you can see there are quite a few packs, so let's get into them. Go to the Horde and Lore pack section for me. Let's start out. Now, I'm going to flat out say it, most of these packs are not worth getting. If you're looking for some gear that's going to be good, if you're looking for some gear that's going to be giving you some damage, giving you some health, don't go for these Halloween packs. The Halloween gear is not worth it whatsoever in terms of stats. If you're going to be looking for stats from gear, you definitely want to be buying something like the Fanciful Fairy K Horde pack, or, you know, even the Professor's Horde pack or the Primeval Horde pack. One of those is going to be much better for stats. And now in terms of looks, which is basically what these are, let's go over that. Now, starting off with the first Halloween pack that was ever made, the Nightmare pack, which has some of the coolest mounts in my opinion in the game, such as the Cloudstrider Pegasus and the Nightmare mount. Now, these are some of the coolest damn mounts in this game. They are a Pegasus that you can fly on, that's like a ghostly Pegasus. There are also the Night Runner and Shadow Steed, which, you know, obviously are interesting anyways. Like, you know, there's some horses. There are some pumpkins, some of these Dark Wraith staffs, and also the gear from Spooky Bob. The Dark Wraith stuff isn't anything particularly good, but if you press on the right stick, you can see what they give. The low-level wand gives you a pip, so if you want a level 10 wand, sure. There's some pets, and then there are the Dragon Tooth armor, which isn't anything particularly worth mentioning. Realistically, this pack is just mainly good for the Nightmare mount, because honestly, I genuinely do think it is one of the coolest mounts in the game. Now, you only have a 1 in 401 chance of getting any of these mounts, which is like not good, but realistically most pack luck isn't good, so I don't know. If you want to go for one of the Halloween packs, the Nightmare pack is probably what I would recommend going for. Next up, we have the Harrowing Nightmare pack. Now, this pack gives it's similar to the last pack. It has some mounts, gives some okay gear, but what this pack mainly has that most people will probably be interested in is these guitar wands, because these guitar wands are some of the coolest wands in the game, just purely based on the fact that they sound really cool. Like, they play like an electric guitar riff when you cast them, and generally they just look really cool. So if you want a wand to stitch, these are definitely potentially worth getting. On top of that, there are the mounts of the Harrowing Wings, which look pretty cool. They have a 1 in 167 chance, which is much better than the Nightmare mount at 1 in 400, and the Midnight Owl, which looks sick as well. Deaths might want to get the Deer Knight pet, because the Deer Knight pet is going to be giving you can see a Faint spell card, which you can use to Faint stack, and I believe at Ancient it also gives you the Deer Knight card. So if you want an early AoE as a Death Wizard, Deer Knight could be worth getting. Now, in terms of the rest of this gear, it's probably not even worth talking about. The rest of it is pretty garbage, I'm not gonna lie, and most of what this pack is pretty garbage. These hats look pretty cool if you want like a Stitch to have, but otherwise, let's be honest, nothing in this pack is going to be particularly interesting. Next up, we have the Gloomthorn Nightmare pack, which can give you the Headless Horseman spell. Now, I wouldn't recommend buying it from the pack, because if you get to Dragonspire, you can farm Lore Master from it for not a bunch of crowns. So yeah, don't buy this pack for the Headless Horseman spell. We have Bat Swarm, Gloomthorn Vine, and All Souls Pegasus mounts, which this Pegasus isn't nearly as cool as the Nightmare. Not worth buying it for any of these mounts in my opinion, but if one of these mounts looks cool to you, go for it. The Jack-o'-lantern pet is okay. Then we have these werewolf clothes. Again, none of the clothes are really worth getting. These staffs look pretty sick though, so if you want like a Stitch that looks pretty sick, these staffs do look pretty dang cool. The rest of the gear is like nothing to write home about. There's a top hat. We love top hats here. Next, we have the Elven Nightmare pack. Now, in my opinion, the Elven Nightmare pack has probably the second coolest set of mounts right after the Nightmare pack, with the Heart of Darkness here, which looks sick, and it has a 1 in 101 chance of getting, which is much better than the Nightmare mount, and then the Light Heart, which is also 1 in 101. So pretty good in that regard. These pets aren't anything particularly to write home about. We have a Sword and Shield, which gives you stun resist and fishing luck. So if you want fishing luck, there's some fishing luck from these. Also, this pack gives energy gear. So if you want some energy gear, this is probably an easy way to get energy gear, and those mounts are dropped more frequently than other pack mounts. So might be worth getting the Elven Nightmare one. I don't think it's particularly worth it, but I figure it's at least worth mentioning. Next, we'll go to the Pirate Nightmare pack, which is obviously pirate themed, which is pretty cool. We have the Flying Dutchman mount, which is okay, but I wouldn't say it's worth that 1 in 400 chance compared to like the Nightmare mount, for example. We have the Spirit Lifter mount, which has 2 spirits carrying you, which is pretty sick. Ghost Host, which is the same thing, but they're purple. We have the Ghoulish Macabre, which is an interesting pet. We have the Spirited Away mount, which you know, good movie, but like beyond that, it's just ghosts but retextured. Then we have the rest of the gear, which I don't think is anything particularly worth getting. We have the Geist box wands, which look pretty cool. There's another top hat. Top hats seem to be a common theme in these, huh? So if you want a top hat, sick. And then they have these this haunted captain's gear, which I'm not gonna lie is really cool because it looks like Pirate 101 gear, and let's be honest, Pirate 101 is sick in terms of like actually getting gear. So if you've ever wanted like a pirate themed Stitch, then this is how you get a pirate themed Stitch. There are some other pets which probably aren't really worth farming the pack for, but like, man, this gear is sick. I might actually have to spend some crowns on this because I could totally see myself wearing a pirate Stitch just for fun. Next up, we have the Grim Ferryman pack, and the Grim Ferryman pack will give you some ferry mounts, which you can see here. It is a 3-passenger mount, and it also gives 1 damage. So I don't think it's like worth the 1 in 300 chance, but they're here if you want them. In terms of the gear, nothing particularly good. There are these scythe wands, which are okay. The actual Stitch gear itself, in my opinion, is pretty dang ugly. Like, I think the skull looks pretty ugly. If you want, you can go for it, but I don't know. I don't think it's anything good. They do give gear set bonuses, which you can see here. I don't think it's going to be anything particularly worth mentioning. Yeah, the set bonus, you have to wear like 4 pieces of gear to actually get the set bonus, which is way too much. So this pack is probably not worth anything compared to most of the other packs IMO. Finally, we have the newest Halloween pack, which is the Freaky Floromancer pack. So if you are a freak, go for this one. This gives you the Arboreal Atrocity mount and the Botanical Beast mount, which they look just kind of ugly. So if you want them, go for them. We got the Flytrap pets, which are okay. Oh, we also have the Rooted Wretch, the Dendritic Devil, the Herbal Horror, and the Floral Fiend, and also the Leafy Leviathan. So if you want any of these mounts, go for them. They don't give you anything special. They just look different from each other. Then we have a clown and a bat banner, which are interesting. And then we have Floromancer gear here, which I think the Floromancer gear, if I remember correctly, isn't the worst gear in the world, but you'd be better off just buying another pack if you want gear. You know, I figure I could scroll through it so you can see what it looks like. It's all pretty ugly, in my opinion. These wands look pretty cool. They got like the swirling root thing going on, which looks pretty sick. The rest of it, yeah, nothing particularly interesting. So that is all of the Halloween packs in the Crown Shop. Now that right there is pretty much every Halloween aspect to Wizard101. As you can see, it's not really that interesting. It's nothing like particularly useful. It's just supposed to be like a fun little event to do. Personally, I do the quests every year, and that's pretty much it. I don't spend money on packs usually, particularly the Halloween packs, you can see aren't really the best in the world. I would say the one I would actually maybe recommend the most would be the Elven Nightmare pack if you want to mount, because this mount is pretty dang sick. Like, it looks really, really cool, and it's a 1 in 100 chance, which compare that to like the Nightmare pack, which has the other really, really cool mounts. It's a 1 in 400 chance. So you have a 4 times more likely chance of getting the Lightheart mount and the Heart of Darkness mount than you actually do the Pegasus, which obviously is not as cool as the Pegasus, but if you want a permanent mount that looks pretty sick, there's one right here you can get. So that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to buy any of the Halloween packs for the spooky season. Personally, probably not going to. I mean, maybe I'll spend like $25 on like some of the packs for the console version of the game just so I can get like a mount. But realistically, Probably not going to spend much more than that on it. I'm not a big whale when it comes to this game because, let's be honest, I don't have the money to do that. So, you know, I'd rather be spending it on other things than Wizard 101. But that's it for today. If this was helpful, if you found this helpful, make sure to drop a like, hit the sub button. Again, let me know in the comments. Are you going to buy any of these packs? Is any of this interesting to you? Let me know. Otherwise, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Have a fantastic day.